Oswald's terrifying time travel journey to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza hides many secrets about the FNAF lore, and to uncover them all, you'll need to dive into the pit with me. Get ready by hitting the like button, subscribing to our channel, and turning on notifications. And beware of the time-traveling killer rabbits. Here you have 25 secrets of Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit. The most classic Easter egg in Five Nights at Freddy's is also in Into the Pit. In every game of the series, you can always hear a honking sound when you press Freddy's nose. It all started with the Celebrate poster in the security office in FNAF 1 and is carried over from game to game until Into the Pit, where you can hear it when interacting with the Freddy cardboard cutout at the entrance of the pizzeria. One of the most beloved characters from the early Five Nights at Freddy's games is back. Phone Guy will call Oswald after he reaches the kitchen in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and will share some very disturbing things that happened in the pizzeria, just like in the first FNAF game.
Blah, blah, blah.
In Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, there's a phone number on a poster to call Fredbear's Family Diner. If you dial it in Into the Pit, it actually works and connects you to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. When they answer, they'll tell you about a special 83-slice pizza called the Golden Bite, a reference to the Bite of 83 where a child died from Fredbear's Bite. There are more phone numbers hiding even darker secrets, but we'll get to those a bit later. Buff Helpy has become canon in a main FNAF game. It started out as a meme from a reaction by the YouTuber Dawko in one of his meme videos.
Here's a picture of Helpy.
It later appeared as a cameo in Freddy in Space 3 and has finally made it in Into the Pit as a minigame in an arcade machine. After repairing one of these arcade machines, a random sequence of numbers appears on the screen, followed by a lot of ones and zeros. This is actually a message written in binary code, which translates to "always watching." This could be a reference to the phrase Mangle says in Ultimate Custom Night, referring to the child that the purple guy should never have killed.
He's here and always watching, the one you shouldn't have killed.
Among all the information Oswald has in the notebook about Chica, there is a rather peculiar detail. Now, according to what the technician wrote, during one of his nights at work, he heard Chica say Susie. This name is no coincidence, and based on the clues given by both the movie and the FNAF games, Susie is the name of the child murdered in the pizzeria whose spirit ended up inside the Chica animatronic. Balloon Boy went from being an annoying animatronic in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 to a figurine that scared people in the FNAF movie. In Into the Pit, the animatronic doesn't appear as such, but you can find some Balloon Boy figurines in the pizzeria. He also appears on the cameras in the security room, annoying as in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Into the Pit has not one, not two, but 4 different endings, with the first one essentially being an escape from the pizzeria as soon as you get the chance. If you leave through the door after the second night, the game ends badly. Things also turn ugly if Oswald doesn't collect all his father's memories, with the yellow rabbit kidnapping him and locking him in the old pizzeria. If Oswald gets all the memories, a photo will fall during the final battle, causing the rabbit to panic and end up hanging himself in the ball pit. If you beat the high scores on all the arcade machines, including the 3 secret ones, you'll get the ultimate ending where Jeff's pizzeria is renovated and Oswald's entire family is seen enjoying pizza. According to the books, however, the canonical ending of this story is the one where Oswald is saved, but Jeff doesn't renovate his pizzeria, so sorry Jeff, you're stuck with your rundown joint. There's another bad ending where the yellow rabbit catches you just before you jump into the ball pit. In it, Oswald ends up turned into an animatronic and wanders the pizzeria alongside the other animatronics who welcome him as he walks down the hallway. This could be a reference to how Glitchtrap greets you in FNAF Help Wanted. In the workshop where Oswald's father is tied up, you can see a rather special photo hanging on the back wall. It's likely a pixelated version of this image, where William Afton appears with his partner Henry when they work together. Doesn't it seem strange that there's a gift next to the entrance door? Well, this is a reference to the animatronic puppet and its role in protecting the children at the pizzeria. Unfortunately, it failed in its mission while watching over Charlotte, Henry's daughter, who ended up being murdered by the purple guy. Did you know that you can use the mobile phone to call some strange numbers? For example, you can talk to the house plumber or call 911 to ask the police for help. You can also use the typical alphabetical keypad of old phones and send text messages by entering different codes. If you type the word puppet by dialing 787-738, you'll hear a music box and a lot of screaming. If you type the word mangle by dialing 626-453, you'll hear the sound it makes in FNAF 2. If you dial 777-4648, representing the word spring tea, you'll hear the purple guy dying, trapped inside the spring Bonnie suit, just like in the games and the FNAF movie. Among the game files, data for an unused minigame starring a familiar face from FNAF has been found. Old Man Consequences was inside this Five Nights at Freddy's. Here, he tells Oswald that he's fallen into the rabbit's trap, but still has time to escape. He also says things like Oswald is different from the other kids because he comes from another timeline. In addition to Old Man Consequences, Vanny's sprite is also in the files, though it wasn't used. And one more thing, the Nintendo Switch version hides a discarded minigame where Puppet appears of Oswald looking for the screwdriver in the basement. If you look at the table on the left in the workshop, you can see a red toy airplane. It may seem familiar if you've seen the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. It's the airplane that Garrett, Mike's younger brother, was playing with just before being kidnapped by William Afton. Another reference to the movie is in Bonnie's maintenance sketchbook. Apparently, there was an accident where a child was electrocuted after touching one of the strings. After this, a sign was put up on the wall warning not to go near Bonnie and his guitar, and the technicians were required to change the strings once a week. This accident is also depicted in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, where Abby gets electrocuted when she touches Bonnie's strings. The mysterious Freddy mask that Oswald finds in his house might have a hidden meaning. In Help Wanted 2, you could obtain Bonnie's mask, which seemed to belong to Cassie's father. It's possible that both Help Wanted 2 and Into the Pit are hinting at the identity of the kids involved in the accident with Mike's brother. One of them could be Cassie's father, who wears Bonnie's mask, and the other could be Oswald's father, who wears Freddy's mask. The calendar hanging in the storage room reveals the year Oswald traveled to through the ball pit, 1985, specifically June 1985. This date matches the events described in one of the newspapers from the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, where it explained that on the night of June 26, several children disappeared without a trace. The game Into the Pit, while not belonging to the exact same universe as the main FNAF games, serves to show exactly what and how the murders of the 5 children in Five Nights at Freddy's happened. If you wait for 10 minutes in Oswald's room without performing any actions or movements, a strange silhouette will appear in the window. This is the Stitch Wraith, an endoskeleton created by Dr. Phineas Taggart in the Fazbear Frights books, which came to life thanks to the agony of several human souls. In this same room, there's a small chance that the Godzilla poster will be replaced by the cover of the book The Twisted Ones, the sequel to The Silver Eyes. If you interact with the candy machine 83 times, you'll activate a special minigame where you control Millie Fitzsimmons, one of the protagonists from the first Fazbear Frights book, who hates her life. In it, you'll need to collect different items representing things like being boiled in water or electrocuted. Eventually, Funtime Freddy appears and forces her to choose one of the deaths. The minigame ends with Millie crying as she regrets her decision. If you're a classic FNAF fan, you'll love these hidden details. In the party room, you can see the legendary Celebrate poster that appeared in several games of the series and even in the movie. The security room is a tribute to the first FNAF game, with a fan, a phone, and even a soda can. The mini arenas scattered across the table are an extra and belong to the sister location game. If you enter the music gallery in Into the Pit, you'll see a drawing of the Music Man animatronic that appears in games like Security Breach. In Into the Pit, the exotic butters also make a return as a prize in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Their first appearance was in FNAF's sister location as one of the special items you could get after completing the game. This time, they're in the ticket machine, right next to an enemy called Bounce Pot from FNAF World. If you call Mom during Night 5, you'll activate a minigame based on the story To Be Beautiful from the first Fazbear Frights book. In it, you have to control the robot Eleanor on her mission to make Sarah more beautiful. Although it initially seems like an innocent mission, Eleanor's true intentions are to take over Sarah's body and turn her into scrap, just like in the book. When Oswald first travels to the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza of the past, he encounters a group of kids chatting. One of them mentions wanting to go to the movies, but can't remember the name of the film, only that it's about catching ghosts. This, of course, is a reference to Ghostbusters, a movie released in the 1980s that featured a slimy character known as Slimer, which is why his friend replies, "Don't get slimed." In the mill, you can see a bunch of abandoned animatronics. These are the Trash in the Gang, who first appeared in Pizza Simulator as cheap, low-quality animatronics. There are 5 of them: Bucket Bob, Mr. Can-Do, Mr. Hugs, Number 1 Crate, and Pan Stan. If you talk to one of the kids playing in the arcade area, he'll mention that a mysterious player called GGY is getting all the high scores on the machines. This is a reference to the story GGY from the book Tales from the Pizzaplex 5, where a kid named Tony discovers that someone with the pseudonym GGY is achieving the highest scores on all the machines of the Pizzaplex. This Easter egg also appears in games like FNAF Security Breach. There's a hidden message in Into the Pit. After completing Price Machine's secret minigame, the letters C and U will briefly appear on the screen. In the secret ending of the game, you can also see the letters C and U. All of this, seemingly unrelated, are references to the second Fazbear Frights book and the final message that Fetch sends to the phone. Don't leave the ball pit just yet, because there are still more secrets to uncover in the videos you have here. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss anything about Five Nights at Freddy's. Thanks for watching, see you next time!